Okay, in this video, we're going to take a look at the City of Russellville, Missouri website. So we'll start by logging in. The first thing you'll do is add /wp-admin to the end of the URL, and this will take you to a login page. Here you'll put in the username and password that we've given you, and this will take you to the dashboard. So when you log in, this is what you'll see. The most important things are going to be over here in the black column of the dashboard, and you don't really need to worry about anything in this main section, but if you have questions about any of that, let us know. I like to open up in another tab the front page so I can see kind of what I'm working with and looking at. And we're going to kind of run through the different pages, the different elements in place, and we're going to go down this list and show you what each of the pertinent items are. Right now, you guys aren't utilizing the blog post function, so we're just going to skip past that. Updates is just going to be if there's any updates to your plugins. We regularly update those for you. Don't need to worry about that. In the media section, you'll see the media library, and this is where you can add new PDFs and images. So if you want to add new images, you can just click add new, and you can either select the files or drag and drop them to upload. Once they're here, you can edit them from this space, so you can click edit image, you can crop, rotate, all these different things, and once you've done that, you'll just click save, and that'll adjust the photo as needed. So crop, you can crop all the images if you want to or need to do that for anything. You can scan through the different photos, and each photo has a unique file URL, and you'll find that right here. And each image on the site has a unique URL, and sometimes you need those to hyperlink, or sometimes you'll need to utilize that, so just wanted to point out where that is. You can also delete images if you upload something you don't want by deleting permanently. And anytime you need to add an image anywhere, there will be a button that says media library or add media, and you don't have to come back over here, but I just wanted to point that out. On forms, you do have one contact form here, so we'll go ahead and click into it. It's just name, email, phone number. If there are other fields you want to add to this form, you can take these fields over here and drag them where they're supposed to go. You can click on a field and change the field label. You can change the appearance by changing the placeholder, by changing the field size, those types of things. This form is pretty straightforward. I don't imagine that you'll end up editing this one too much, but just wanted to show you how to do that. If I click preview, it'll show you a little bit what it looks like. It doesn't exactly look like that. Obviously, we've added some styling, but we're talking about this form right here. So one item to keep in mind is if you want to create a new form, you can go to new form. It's going to ask you to give it a title. You don't need to give it a description. You can just create the form. And you can start adding fields. So from here, you'll just drag over the fields that you want. And once they're in place, whoops, my computer has frozen a little bit here. Oh no. So once they're in place, you should be able to drag these over here. I have, looks like my forms has frozen a little bit. So if you want to duplicate this field, you can duplicate the field. You can click on the settings here, and it'll take you to the settings over here. You can delete this field, and we'll change the, this is really giving me a hard time. I'm not sure why it's freezing up on me, but you can change the field settings by coming over here. And let me refresh the page and see if it'll reload for me. There we go. Okay, so now you can add multiple fields however you want, and once you click on it, it'll take you to field settings, and then you can adjust the field label here, edit the choices here so that they can be different choices, and you can essentially create a sign-up form if you want. So you would add, someone's name. You could add under advanced field, we have name, phone number, address, email, file upload, all types of things that you can add here and create a form. And then if you want to embed it, this will give you the embed code, or you can copy the short code here, or it'll give you the option to add it within a page as well. It'll say add form and it'll place the shortcode for you. So once a form is created, it has to be placed on a page in order for it to be able to be utilized. It doesn't just appear somewhere on its own. That'll have to be added. So then now that we have 2 forms, anytime you make changes, be sure to click that save button. So anytime I'm editing, I'll want to click save because now I've lost all of that, which is fine since we don't need this. But you'll just want to make sure you click save anytime you make edits. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because obviously we don't need this form I just created. So on the contact form, a couple things to note is we want to look at notifications and entries. So on notifications, this is the email to which all the form entries are going to go. So it looks like here's where they're going currently, and then you can add a comma and then just add additional emails here if you'd like them to go to an additional email. The from email always just needs to come from the same URL as the site. So anything can go here, yada yada at, it just has to be City of Russellville, Mo for the from email. So if you create a new form, that would be the same case there. It would need to have the notifications set to being from City of Russellville. Anytime you make updates, you'll want to click update notification or save. Anytime you make a change, you'll just want to look for a button that says update or save. And then you can always go to entries and see what form entries have been in the site entries. So this one's your test email. It should have gone to your inbox, but you can always do a test email if you want to test it. You can just submit the form on your own, but this is where you can find those. You can also export from, you'll select a form and you can select whatever entries or whatever fields from the form you want, whatever date range you want, and you can export a whole CSV or Excel file of all the form entries. So if you create some sort of sign up form, that would come in handy for you there. So again, forms, drag and drop the fields as needed. You can edit in the settings, the notifications, and you can find the entries as well as import or export the entries rather. And that's kind of how you do that. It's pretty intuitive, but if you run into questions along the way, let us know. So we'll move on down to pages. So this is going to house all of the internal pages on your site as well as the home page. So let's just go ahead and start with the home page. It's going to be titled homepage and be labeled as the front page. So we'll click into it. And how I like to describe the home page is that each of these little groups here are going to have a corresponding little section on the home page here. So you can kind of see how each section of the page is a different color or background, and that's going to be the same here. So it looks like we've got a couple of things hidden here, so you can see how they're kind of grayed out, and then the eye has been clicked, so that means it's invisible. So we can bring these things back if we want. I know you're talking about doing some advertising on the site as well as getting a Facebook feed set up. And I think that's on our to-do list and we should have that ready for you here soon. And once the Facebook feed is set up, there's nothing that you'll need to edit. So you're not missing anything on the video in that regard. So to start, I want to show the very top is this featured image. So this is the image that's set as the background on your home page. So if you come all the way down here and click in, I can select any image I want to go here. I can upload a new image or I can select anything from the media library. And if I wanted to change out the image, I'd click set featured image. And then this is your title on the page. So again, this can be changed as well. If you want this to say something else right here, you'll just change out the text right here. So, and again, if you make any updates, you'll click update and that will update on the home page for you. The intro is just that first section with the copy here with just this writing. And so you've got a few different size fonts, and that's done through heading 2, heading 3, and then paragraph is just your standard. The text is centered. If you want to add additional copy, this really just works a lot like a word processor, like Microsoft Word. So you'll just type whatever you want, As we mentioned before, you can click add media and you can add and insert any images that you would like. I can click insert into page, and this image is going to be really big. I can align it to the left, center it, align it right, and then I can edit it and make it a little bit smaller so it fits where we want it to go. So if we wanted to put this on this page, I might add it here instead. So paste it here instead. So that's how you would add a little image like that. Of course, we don't want to actually do that. Then if you add a link or text of some sort, you can hyperlink this to link to any internal page on the website. So I can click into any of the additional pages on our site, or I can type in any URL that I want here and click add link, and that's going to create a hyperlink for us. I can remove the link, I can edit the link, and I can make it open in a new tab if I would prefer. I can also format this as a button if I want it to show up as a button. And then again, anytime I make edits that I want to have be permanent, I'll click update. Or if I'm messing around and wanting to add things, I'll click update. It's not necessarily permanent. And we back up our site, so if you want to, you can play around with things, and if there's questions or issues, you can always reach out. And again, you can add a form by clicking add form. Select your whatever form you've just created. You don't want to display the form title or the description, not needed. And you'll just click insert form. And that form's going to show up right here in this spot. Then on the next section, you can see these quick links. So this is set up just a little bit differently. You can see that there's a background image here on this quick link section. So these are called image icons right here. And you can see it's called quick links. So if you want to change the title or label of this, you can change the title or label here by just typing something else. And then in the background on this section, you can see that we're using this image, and then we've got a color overlay that we've given a little bit of transparency so that the image still kind of comes through. So if you ever want to copy and paste this color code, you can copy and use this throughout the site on a different spot. Then under content, you'll see all these different infographics. So for each graphic, I can edit, I can delete it, and I can change out this image if I want the graphic to be something else. So this one's called Our History. So you can see it's in heading 3 and centered, and I can change this label, or I can add an additional quick link if I want. So I can click add row, and this is going to give me another quick link. And you just set the icon link here, so I can remove it, I can edit it, or if I were to add a new one, add a row here, I'll add my image. It's going to pull up the media library. I'll select whatever image I want. I will give it a title in heading 3 because that's the size we're using. We'll center it, and then we'll give it a link, so we can select a link or add our own URL here. But we don't want that, so we're going to go ahead and remove this row. And you can you can drag and rearrange these if you want them to be in a different order, or you can add icon through this button as well. It's the same thing. But again, these can be collapsed or decollapsed, and so then you can drag these and rearrange them to be in a different order if you would prefer. So again, if you want to add a quick link, you'll click add row here or add icon here. They are collapsible, so there's a little arrow here. You can click, edit, or delete the graphic, add a title, and add a link here. Like I said, these are currently not in use because you don't have the ads just yet. We don't have the upcoming events. We just have the calendar page and then the Facebook feed we are going to set up for you. Now, let's say you wanted to add an additional page section. So this is in the footer. This is on every internal page on the site. So that's actually edited elsewhere, not on the home page. But let's say on the home page you wanted to add another section kind of like this one. So what you would do is you would come down here and click add content section. Well, we're not doing info boxes or buttons. We're just going to do a standard page section like with the text or copy. And let's say we want to say we've got some information about a new event. Okay, well, I centered my copy. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Oops. Let's make this just regular text we want it to be a button, and we're going to link to this page. Obviously that's not the right page, but we're going to link to it. And then in the background, I'm going to select an image here. We're going to use this image, and I want to do the same background color. Let's say we want to do the same background color. I'm going to come back up here and grab this background color code. Obviously it's going to kind of fade into each other, but let's say that you wanted to paste it. That's where you would paste it. So obviously if we do this, let's see, we'll also want to make this text white. So that's going to help us see it on that black background. Let's click update. And I'm going to refresh the home page, and let's take a look. Obviously doesn't look great because you've got the same color. So let's see, what if we change the color? My internet is going quite slow today, so I do apologize about that. Let's change the color of the background to something more light. Let's say a teal or something like this. Obviously this might not look the best, but and then we'll change the opacity a little bit here, and let's see how that looks. Probably doesn't look great, but I just want to show you how to change that. Oh, it's going very slow. I'm not sure why it's going so slow today. Not usually the case. There we go. Okay, so obviously doesn't look great, but that's the background color there for you. So another thing to mention is when you make any changes, you'll want to go to WP Rocket here and click clear cache. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to clear the cache on the website so that the newest updates take place and load, so that when people load your site, that's what they see. So obviously we don't want this page section, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Click update, and then I'm going to clear the cache so that anybody coming to the site doesn't see what we've done there. Again, my computer and the internet here is going a little bit slower than it usually is, so I apologize. So we'll clear cache here. So then on some of these other pages, I want to go through and make sure we talk about what's in use on the other pages so that you can see how to edit these other pages. Let's see, people service. I just want to make sure there's nothing specific on any of these pages. So all these pages look like they're kind of just in one page section, and so all this copy will just be edited the way we edited it in our examples back there. So for instance, this is the new page that you wanted to add, this Clerk's Corner page. Right now there's nothing here. When you're ready, you'll just start typing. And we'll say we'll make it heading 1, we'll center it, and again, you'll just start adding information. This is the link for the page that you're working on, so this is sometimes helpful to note. So I'm going to go ahead and open this page in a new tab and see if I can see what I've just done. Okay, there we go. So obviously we don't need to have that, save that, but you would just start typing whatever information you wanted onto this page. So I was going to see if there's a page with some additional page sections, kind of like, I know the projects page uses, this is called an Accordion, and I'll show you how to update this as well. The newsletter, you've got a PDF embedded here. Contact page, I think is, yeah, it's just, this has page sections, so I'll go to the contact page. Let's look at the gallery. Let's look at the newsletter. And let's look at the contact page. So in the gallery, this is a Foo Gallery, and if you click into this page to edit it, all you really need to do will be to click this pencil, and it's going to take you to the Foo Gallery over here where you're going to edit the gallery. So you don't actually need to go to the page to do that, but it is helpful if that gets you to the right place. So we'll come down here and talk about this in just a moment, but that's on the gallery page. On the contact page, we've got 2 page sections. So like I showed you on the home page, these are 2 different sections, and you'll just, again, edit this copy how you want. And these are hyperlinked, how I showed you how to hyperlink them. To do a telephone, you just do TEL with an ellipsis or a colon, and then for email it'll be mail to with a colon. So these are all just hyperlinked. And for the background on this one, we just did a light gray, and again, you can come in here and copy this color code if you want to use that light gray somewhere else. And you can see on the contact page how it just kind of offsets those 2 bits of information, so it shows a little bit of a separation there. And on the newsletter page, the only thing you have to do here, it looks a little complicated, but all this is just adding the file. So when there's a new newsletter, you'll just delete this. You'll click Add Media. You'll upload your PDF here. You'll click the newsletter and you'll click Insert into Page, and it will add it as this embedded URL link, and it will show up as needed. You don't have to do anything else. Just click Update and clear your cache, and it will update your newsletter for you. I want to make sure there's nothing else we need to talk about with pages, or if there was any other. Everything looks like it's pretty much just want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Projects is using that helpful info. Yeah, so these are each a different page section. You can see the gray background. Don't think I missed anything. These are just images that have been added. Okay, that should be it. So that's pretty much it for pages. That's all you need to know. But if you find that you can't figure something out, let us know. We'll be happy to help or give you a little bit more assistance. So we'll pretty much call that everything you need for pages, and we'll move on down. Under calendars, this is where we've got your, and I'm clicking leave because we don't need to save any of the updates I made, but if it suggests that you might need to save something, you might need to save something. So the only thing I need to mention about the calendar, your calendar is updated through Google Maps, and we kind of troubleshooted that a little bit. All you have to do for the calendar is add your events on Google Calendar. So none of this is done through the website. The only thing that's sometimes helpful is if you come in here and click Clear Cache. If your events aren't quite showing up and you're not seeing them on the calendar, sometimes you need to clear the cache for them to load, and sometimes you might need to come in here to calendars and do that. Other than that, nothing really here you need to do. It's all set up. It auto-populates once you add those through the Google Calendar. Nothing you need to do here. Next up is Foo Gallery. This is where those galleries are for the gallery page and the parks page. And again, I'm just going to click in. And it's going to take me to this screen where I can click Manage Items or Gallery Preview here. And the gallery preview shows you how the gallery shows up once you're on that page. Again, my internet is moving quite slow, but it'll show you, there you go, how it looks on the page. So we've got all the settings adjusted and set up so that it looks nice. So you really don't have to adjust the settings over here unless you want to. And then to add additional images, you'll just click here, upload your files, and select them. Once you select, you'll click Add Media, and that'll allow you to add it to the gallery. You can drag and rearrange their order, and you'll just click Update when you're done. Again, on the pages, there's an option to add Foo Gallery, or you can get the short code from here. So you've got the 2 galleries, which are the gallery page and the parks page, and you'll just click in and add, and you can also delete images as well. If you want to create a new gallery, you'll click Add Gallery. I would just copy the settings we've already got set on these items so they could look exactly the same, and just start adding more photos. And you can create another gallery that way by clicking Add Gallery, uploading those photos, and just copy directly the settings on these galleries. Moving on down, we have this ads item here. Eventually, when you get the ads come through, we'll do an additional video or have some additional information for you on how to get these added to your site. But for now, we're just going to skip past that. WP Bruiser, this is just it's a firewall type of thing to keep from having anything weird on your site, like hacking, things like that. And so we'll skip past Genesis. This is just your theme, nothing you need to know here. Appearance, there's two things we need to look at. One is widgets and one is menus. We'll start with widgets. Widgets is what's going to create the logo for your site, and you can edit this here, but you probably won't ever need to. It's also going to adjust the footer. So this is where that footer information is housed that we mentioned earlier. So if you need to edit anything that's in this footer, that will be under widgets, footer, visual editor, and this is where that copy exists. So you will type in or adjust, or if you need to adjust anything here, that's where that's done, and you'll just come down here and click save. Then you've got the form here, and that's added through a widget, nothing that needs to be edited. So really the only thing in widgets that you'll ever really need to edit is going to be this copy here, and that's where that's located. Again, you'll just make sure you click save. The only other thing under appearance is menus. So under menus, once you've created a page here, once you've created a page, you can find it here. So you click select, click add to menu, and it's going to show up down here. Now I can drag this, I can make it a sub menu item, I can put it wherever I want, and then I can change the navigation label, change that to say whatever I want. We obviously don't want that. If you want to add a custom link to an outside site, you'll put the URL here and the text here and click add to menu. Once you've made those edits, you'll click save menu and you'll be done. It says, I don't think you have a social menu. No, we're not utilizing that. Some sites have that, but not yours at the moment. So, yeah, if you ever create a new page, that's going to show up here under pages. You'll click it or you can search for it and then it'll show up here. And again, these can be dragged, rearranged, relabeled, retitled, removed, however you'd like. Just be sure to click save when you're done. Plugins are the plugins that are utilized on your site that create all the different elements. If there's something you want to do on your site, there's always additional plugins that you can use. So if you have questions about additional plugins, let us know. Under users, this is where you're going to be able to edit your password. So if you go in here, you can change your password if you like. You'll come down here to set new password, and it'll give you an option to change it, and then you'll just click update user whenever you're done. If you want to create a new admin user, you'll click add new, put in their email and whatever required information there is, create a password for them, and then you can log in the same way we did at the beginning of the video. So that's how you update your password there. We'll skip through most of these other things because they're not really in use. The only other thing is Easy Accordion, and this is what's used on the projects page, I believe. So it's called an accordion for what you can imagine, obvious kind of reasons here. And you'll click into it and you can edit the different fields the same way. Just click into it. You can edit the title here and edit any of the copy here. And again, this works basically exactly the same as how we had it on the other internal pages and everything. So you can click in here, you can delete them, you can duplicate them, you can drag and rearrange them, you can add a new item, and just click update when you're done. And if you ever want to create your own new Easy Accordion, just click add new. And again, you might need a little bit of help with some of the settings, but you could try to just copy exactly the settings we have here in display settings and typography and all that. If you copy that exactly, they should look exactly the same. Then you'll get the short code, and this can be copied onto a new page and utilized as a new accordion if you want to create a new one. I don't think anything else here. I don't think we're using Slider Revolution for anything. Do we have a slider on the About page? Yes, we do. Okay, so this is a carousel slider. So this is the only time you would need Slider Revolution is if you want to add new images to that slide. So all you'd have to do is click Add Slide. You can do blank slide or bulk slide if you have a bunch of new pictures you want to add. If you do a bunch, you can just go to Upload Files, upload all your files, click one, hold Shift, and you can select all the ones you want to add. Click Insert, and it's going to just insert that as many as you've selected new images. If you just want to delete one and add new, you can just go to background, slide options, background, and select a new image, or you can just delete it and bulk add. So I can just make this invisible, I can delete it, I can duplicate it, but these are set as the background, and then you just go to this item here, background, media library, and it'll let you change out the image. Or if you want to click Add Slide, blank slide, it's going to take you to this page and you'll do the same thing. Background, and I want to do image, media library, upload my files. Or, like I said, you can duplicate it and change out the background that way. Either way, doesn't matter. That's how you're adding new images here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these because we don't want them. And that's in use on this page. So if you ever want to create a new slider, you can duplicate this one that's here. You should be able to duplicate it, and then you can just change out all the images and place it using the embed code here and copy and paste that onto a new page if you want to create a new one. Again, if you wanted to add any new pages, that would just be going to Pages. You'd click Add New. Give the page a title, add content section. We just want to do a standard page section, and then you're ready to go, and you can click Publish as soon as you're done. There will be a URL that's given to the page. You can edit this if you want, and then once you create it, I'm going to go ahead and leave. It will show up under Pages here, and it's also going to show up under Appearance Menus, and you can add it to the menu if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because we don't need it. That should cover pretty much everything on the site. Again, we'll work on getting the ads once we have that ready, and we'll get the Facebook feed set up for you guys, but the Facebook feed will not require any work from you at all. So that should take care of most of the things that you'd need to edit on your site. Of course, if you run into issues or questions, please let us know and we'll be happy to help.